I will be discussing the Korean language. I have studied this for 2 years, or with a little bit more, and I've been studying with self studying, but also with a native speaker. I chose this language because I am fascinated about the culture, the language, the food, basically everything about the uh, country. It's also just the landscape is so beautiful, and that is why I picked this language. So first, the origins. It is an Altic language family. This includes the Turkic, Mongolic, Tunisic languages, but also a little bit of the other spread out languages in the Asian location. It has been spoken since the 5th century, which is the Old Korean, which I will show you later on in the next slide. So moving on to the history. On the left, you can see Old Korean, which it in the red it derived from Chinese characters. Japanese Korean derived from Chinese characters, and so King Sejong wanted to provide a language that would allow the population to speak, read, write, because most of the citizens there were illiterate, and it was only the rich people that could do it. So he created Hangul, which is the Korean alphabet, which is a very phonetically well put together language, as I'll explain later on. So Old Korean was in the 7th century, and Modern Korean 15th century. So it was a very big change, and it really helped a lot of people out and made people happy. Um, and then let's move on. So just some vocabulary with the origins and foreign influences. One, sarang is love. This word is indigenous to the language and represents a fundamental concept. Another word is kamsamnida, meaning thank you. This is also indigenous to the language. And then changnan, which is joke or play. It is from Korean. And then mire is future. This word is an example of a concept rooted in the native Korean lexicon. Just some examples. I will provide some more examples and maybe some phrases later on. And then from the Chinese loanwords, hakyo, which is school, you can see the hanja there, which is a little very much more complicated than the Korean. And then some other ones is chonhwa, which is phone. You can see the Korean on the right here. Umshik, which is food. And then Lisa is doctor or physician. So you can see some very different character writing. So this is very simple, and I'll kind of describe how the Hangul works versus the Hangja, which I have not studied. It is a lot more complicated. And then moving on. And then foreign loanwords is computer, which is from English. Taxi is English as well. Ice cream is ice cream. So it's kind of you say it like it's spelled. So internet. And then the writing system, Hangul, it was developed in the 15th century, as mentioned before. There's 14 consonants, 10 vowels in this system. There's also the Hangzhou, which is the Chinese. I haven't studied it, so I'm not sure how many characters. I believe there's thousands. So here are some of the vowels. Just to name a few. The ah sound. So Korean usually has circles, squares, lines. They look very different from our alphabet. It's a lot more simple and well written language. So And then some consonants here, which I'll explain why they're what they're like. And then just an overview. So we also have the Korean alphabet. Hangul has this kind of O-looking shape. That is a character that we don't have in the English language, and it basically depends on the placement of it. If it's at the end of a syllable, it kind of pronounces the sounds, such as like signing. But then if it's in the middle of a syllable or the beginning, it's silent. It holds like it's a place marker. Okay. So the way it's written, as I said, it's very well written, and that is because the letters are written to how your tongue is placed. So the giet, which is kind of like it looks like the way I learned it, it looks like a gun, so it's a G sound. And so here on the left, we have like the tongue makes a G. That character symbol, kind of similar, but opposite the Nian, the Shiat, Mium, and the Hing, and then like the Mium, Biep, Diet, Ril, and so on. So next up, syllable patterns. So these can be written in any way, depending on the syllables. So the top three are some examples. So we have a consonant and a vowel. You can't have a vowel opening on a syllable. So like if you were to say like ah, you'd have to have that place marker, the O that I just mentioned before. So we have the ta, and then if there's another consonant, you'd kind of make it two on top, one on the bottom. And then if there's another consonant, then you would do four like a box. And that we'll just see kind of similar but horizontal on the second row. And then third is both of them. So like down here, the U-E basically combines to make a dwi, like a we, it makes a W sound, which is interesting. And then next. So Korean is different from English in terms of the syntax. So in English, we have the subject, verb, object. Like here written as Maru eats breakfast. Subject Maru, verb eats, object breakfast. But then in Korean, it is moved around with the subject, object, verb. And so it would basically be Maru breakfast eats. As we can see here as well, there are particles, which we also don't really have in English. We don't have a topic, particle, subject particle, object particle. We just kind of have to like understand on context. But in Korean, they say what they are talking about. They want to make it the topic. So to make it known that Maru is the subject of a sentence, then they have this particle here to make the breakfast the object. Because you can make breakfast, put like a time particle, and it's a little bit more complicated, but and then the verb you would conjugate it based on what tense you were talking in. Kind of similar, but here we can also see the topic particle here, and then the ka makes it a question. So if I want to answer it, it would be moksumnida, but as a question would be moksumni ka. And then some just examples of phrases. Here I'll go left down and then right down. First one, 안녕하세요. is hello. 잘까요 is goodbye. You could also use 안녕하세요 as a goodbye, or like 안녕히 계세요. It just depends who you're talking about. If you're talking about an elder or friend or someone younger than you. 잘 지냈어요 is how are you? It's pretty here. You hear it very often. 사랑해요, as we talked about. sarang is a Korean word. I love you. 죄송합니다. I'm sorry, which is, you can see here on the first syllable, those the horizontal plus vertical vowels combined. So that's a good example. Next, 대단해요 is awesome. You also hear sometimes like 대박. I watch Korean dramas, so that's where it pops up often. And then on the top right, 좋은 아침이에요. 좋은 is like good, and then 아침 breakfast. So without that object particle, it has a different meaning. 저기요, excuse me. 감사합니다, thank you. When you hear it, 감사합니다, you don't hear the ha sound. It's there. It's just they speak fast and it's hard to recognize it, but it is there. So many people ignore it and say like 감사합니다. So don't forget the hum. And then 정말요 is really. 정말 is for like friends. And then 반가워요, nice to meet you. If it's formal to an elder or someone above you, 만나서 반갑습니다. So conjugating the end of that verb to make it formal, informal, present, past tense. And then last one, 얼마예요 is how much is it. So kind of here I'll add something more to it, which has been tricky for me, but some things that we learned about earlier is, let's do the 잘까요, the goodbye, and see how that circle, that's a place mark, because this right here is a vowel, and you can't open just on a vowel. I can't have just this. So that's a place marker, so that is what works. And then, but here, 안녕, it's here, but it's at the bottom of the syllable, so it makes an ng sound, versus in the beginning is silent. And then last one is, let's find it. Oh, okay. 잘 지냈어요. If I say it slow, it would sound like this. 잘 지냈어요. So if you hear, so ne, so I moved these double shiits, which are like a S sound, over to the place marker here. So if it's empty and there's a consonant in the syllable before, I move it. That's called baksham. So let's find another one. So here at the 정말요, so 정말요 instead of 정말요. 정말요 is how this is written, but to say it, you say 정말요. I move this ril right here at the bottom to the place marker and combine to say 정말요. And that is my Korean presentation. 감사합니다. And thank you for watching.